Okay, so you guys decided you wanted to do travel therapy because you thought it was going to be a really great way to pay off your student loans and to create financial freedom, right? So I know you said that you worked super hard at the beginning so that you could have some time later on to maybe not have to work quite as hard or do the assignment after assignment after assignment. Did you kind of plan all this ahead of time? And did you have like initial goals, I guess, with budgeting and how you were going to spend your money and what you were going to put away and all those things?
I think it changed a little bit over time. So we had originally set out saying that we would do travel therapy for 5 years, and then we would settle down probably into a permanent job. And back then we didn't really know, exactly how financially successful we would be able to become. And our plan evolved over time. And like Jared said in the beginning, we were considering, you can make a lot more money so you can pay off your student loans a lot quicker, get rid of that debt, and then start saving for the future. Well, after a little while, Jared had done some additional research, and I'll let him tell you a little bit more about that, and actually decided that financially it was better for us there's some loopholes here and it's a lot to explain, but basically not pay off our student loans, instead go on an income-driven repayment plan, and instead put all of our extra income and savings into retirement plans and save for our future, while having these tax benefits of being able to qualify for an income-driven repayment plan.
Yeah, so I had it all planned out at first, and then nothing actually went according to plan. But yeah, it was going to be, okay, we're going to travel for 5 years. We'll pay off our loans within like 2 years. And then we'll start saving a ton for a down payment for a rental property. And then we'll cash flow rental properties into the next one. At the end of 5 years, we'll have 5 or 6 rental properties. We'll settle down. Everything will be great. And then, like Whitney said, I started doing more research and calculations on student loans. I found that income-driven repayment made more sense and investing the difference. And that has turned out to be a really good decision for us. And along with that, I figured out that basically trying to manage rental properties from all over the country while you're traveling is really difficult, probably not worth it, which took me more into index fund investing and other avenues. So everything kind of changed. But yeah, the whole way I've had a plan and then just adjusted it as we went.
Yeah, and it's all pretty nuanced, and obviously Jared knows a lot more about it than I do. But I know a lot of people ask just on the surface level of like, how do you dedicate yourself to save that much money? Because we were putting aside, we were maxing out our 401ks, maxing out our IRAs, even putting in some additional brokerage accounts. Like we were saving, I would probably say I was saving at least 50 to 75% of my income, and Jared was saving, sometimes 80 to 90% of his income.
1 year I saved 90%, so
people,
saving a huge percentage.
People basically want to know, do you budget? Like, do you write down a budget? Like, we can only spend this much on groceries. But basically, Jared has introduced me to the idea of just kind of like anti-budgeting. Like, he is just a very frugal-minded person, and so he just tries to spend as little as possible on the things that we absolutely need. And of course, that was a bit easier for us because we were both having high income and we were splitting expenses. So in the beginning, it was super easy for us to do that. We were living in an RV. We just tried to, live pretty minimalist for the first several years. We would focus on cooking at home a lot and trying to decrease our housing expenses and our car expenses as much as possible. We didn't buy new cars, so we didn't have car payments. We didn't have credit card debt, nothing like that. So we didn't necessarily have like a budget, but we just tried to spend as little as possible and shovel as much aside into savings those first several years. And it turned out it paid off super well because we actually transitioned to the point without considering even our online business, that we got to a point where we could really just work part-time after those several years of work. Like, back then we thought, we'll just work for 5 years as travelers and then we'll take a permanent job, like 40 hours a week, a salary job. But at this point, because of the financial success in our first several years as travelers, we won't ever have to do that. We were able to just work part-time. And again, that's not even accounting for the extra money that we make from having an online business, because a lot of people are like, you guys do that because you have an online business, so you work online. But we're like, no, you can do that too. If you're really smart and strategic with your savings as a traveler, you can get to a point of really good financial stability where you can hopefully transition to part-time work too. Yeah, in terms of budgeting and things like that, like my philosophy, like probably a lot of people listen to that and they're like, that sounds like a terrible lifestyle. You work all the time, you don't spend any money. Wow, that's awful. But the way I look at it is like, I don't want to spend a lot of money on things that are more material. We spend a lot of money on experiences and things like that, but we try to keep our other costs low so that we can do that and still save a ton. So I mean, we didn't spend a lot on going out to eat and buying electronics and things like that, but we spent
significantly on weekend trips and things like that. We would always be probably twice a week. We're taking weekend trips to national parks or going hiking somewhere, or going to stay somewhere in a new city. So, I mean, we spend a lot on those things, but very little on material things.